All right, I want to be crystal clear on this. I think I know the answer, but have you been able to find one chronic disease that does not relate to visceral fat?
I have I have not, and um, the only disease that I've seen is not chronic in nature would be more like trauma, accidents, maybe genetic, but chronic disease related to lifestyle always relates to visceral fat, and that's a really angle like a tangential. I'm really just realizing it because if you're living incorrectly, you're going to get chronic disease. And it's going to be measured and manifest first as visceral fat, heart fat, muscle fat. So it's the first expression of things gone wrong, even before you get symptomatic. So we see it literally starting in toddlers and children. It starts to form from bad lifestyle, from their parents feeding them waffles, pancakes, Fruit Loops, syrup, muffins, all that kind of crap that the kids are now getting today and living incorrectly. So that's a great question. No, I've never found a chronic disease that doesn't relate to it, nor have I ever found a single form of chronic disease that did not improve as you start getting rid of this visceral fat, heart fat, muscle fat. So if you got a problem, here's your choices. I'm talking to you right now. If you got a chronic disease and you don't like it, and you're not getting rid of your visceral fat and your muscle fat and fat around your heart, stop complaining. It doesn't really bother you that much. Don't wait for your doctor to tell you to do this because it's literally kept out of medical school. Just get rid of it and see what happens. I did it for 6,000 Americans. Not one of them had chronic disease that didn't improve. You think you're special, that somehow you're going to be protected from it? I'm sorry. I'm very passionate about this because it's time we end humanity's biggest problem, chronic disease. And if you got a form of it, I'm begging you to give it a try and see what happens when you limit. Quit fooling around with your labs. They're way downstream. You're never going to figure that out. A supercomputer couldn't. It's as simple as just getting rid of your visceral fat, that fat around your heart, and the fat in your muscle. In fact, let me just set it up this new way. I haven't since the last time. The second thing I found out is, Jesse, when it comes to this fat right here, which is this fat around the heart. It's called epicardial adipose tissue heart fat. I went into AI with its deep research tools and I said, please review every single medical study that that talks about and addresses heart fat, epicardial adipose tissue, and heart attacks, and every medical record, every book, every article, every autopsy record, which are in most states, jurisdictions, public records that AI can get into, and any other record you can get into. And please tell me, out of 8 billion people living today, and all the other billions of people that have lived in the past that we have access to their records, can you find a single human being who's ever had a heart attack and did not have that fat elevated? And do you know what the answer was for all those billions and billions of people? No. No human being that's had a heart attack has ever not had that heart fat. So why don't you know about it? It's being kept from you. The number one killer of humanity is heart attacks. And this is being kept secret. But now you're watching Jesse Chappus. He's figured this out. He's got interesting guests come on to tell you stuff that you're not going to get through the conventional healthcare system. So I love social media because these influencers are bringing what helps improve lives. It's not being filtered. But I wake up every day trying to end humanity's biggest problem. And so my credibility is my passion to end that problem. I've volunteered for 7 years full time, never taken a pay. How long have you volunteered full time without taking pay? I'm talking to you uh, in the audience. I did it for 7 years, no pay, full time, 4 a.m. to 7 p.m. That's how much I wanted to reverse chronic disease. And the answer is getting rid of this fat.
Okay, it sounds like it. But again, for clarity, before we really get into the nuance here, MRI, gold standard when it comes to looking at visceral fat. As a physician working with clients, are you even doing any other lab work? It sounds like no, but I just want full clarity there.
Boy, was that a great question. No, I'm not. I work with literally 9 people that have 9 figures, billionaires. They ask me the same thing. No, you don't need it. It's just confusing. Everybody else is tracking it. It's the holy grail, Jesse, are these 3 areas of structural disease. They're really the holy grail when it comes to health. So I have, after years, I just cut back on the labs because I've ultimately found out they're just not all that helpful. I used to wear, a GCM for years and track all that stuff way back when. And I realized it really wasn't as helpful as just tracking, the amount of fat somebody has around the heart and then making it go away in 1 year. All that fat around this guy's heart literally disappeared in just one year. And we can do this in months and weeks in many cases. It just happened to be this guy was 1 year.
Okay, so we know the targets: visceral fat, the fat around the heart, fat in muscle, and I know deep subcutaneous fat is another one.
Yeah.
When it comes to accumulation, can we look at one of these areas to get a representation of what's happening in the others?
Yeah. A good surrogate for all of them, I think, is either a single slice through the abdomen that you could do. But, anecdotally, like if you only were to choose one thing, I would say the heart fat. Because when it comes to the belly, it's kind of vague. When it comes to the muscles, this is the, belly scan now. And then these are the leg scans. It's just something not as powerful about the legs and the abdomen as talking about somebody's heart and how this is the immediate threat. And that honestly is what I can say. The chances are, if Jesse and Sean were to become, worth, I don't know, $100 million because we guessed right, I think we're going all in that somebody is going to die from a heart attack before anything else. Literally, somebody's having a heart attack every 30 seconds in the United States. It's the number one killer in humanity is heart attacks. So the chances are that's probably how, if you're listening today, probably how you're going to die from a heart attack. So we get your attention with the most important organ, your heart, by showing you this graphic accumulation of this disease, structural disease around your heart, and stop relating it like it's a lab value or just another metric to follow for your health. It's literally disease that is causal and contributing to at the same time so many other forms of chronic disease, including the big triggers. So I would say, with your brilliant question, what's the one thing, if you couldn't look at anything else, it would be a single slice through the heart and show that most immediate threat, and then educate persons that when you get rid of this, you'll also get rid of this, which is visceral fat, and you'll get rid of muscle fat in the legs at the same time. You cannot get rid of heart fat without getting rid of visceral fat and muscle fat and deep subcutaneous fat. They're all connected. They all are related. They're all basically expressions, disease processes, all subsequent to the poor lifestyle choices that people have made in the past.
If you enjoyed that clip, you're going to want to head over here and catch a full episode. I'll see you over there.
I'm talking to you right now. If you got a chronic disease and you're not getting rid of your visceral fat, stop complaining. Don't wait for your doctor to tell you to do this because it's literally kept out of medical school. Just get rid of it.